Quick note before we start this tutorial, I've started adding the code online, so check the description if you want to grab the code and follow along that way. Okay, so in this tutorial, we're going to work on, well, first thing, we're still setting it so that you have to hold down a character for each step of our connect doors algorithm. So that's in our room.c, connect doors, and just down here, let's get rid of that. So there's the first thing. So now it just loads automatically. Okay, second thing we're going to work on is when we go over a spot, it just erases it. So we're going to fix that, and this will kind of lead us to reorganize some of our structure, add some new structure into our game, so it will allow us to do some cool things. Okay, so what we're going to do, how we will approach this, is we're going to save the entire map, basically. We're just going to save the entire map. Each spot is going to be saved in an array of characters. So how that's going to look is we're going to need char star, make it a pointer. We'll call it level for now. Okay, so in our map setup, we'll return that. Is that how we want to do it? Do we want to return it? Yeah, we'll return it. So level equals map setup. Okay, so that means we're going to have to open up our .h file and change our function definition there. Let's add some comments here. So these are our room functions. These are player functions. Wait, no, that's our level or map functions. Okay, so this right now is returning room star star. So we don't want that. We want it to be just char star star for now. Okay, so level equals map setup. Let's also create a new file, so control new and control S to save it, and this will be level.c. And we're going to move our map setup into there. So main has grown even smaller, and this of course needs to include our rogue file .h. Okay, now we're going to want a new function too, and we're going to call it save level position. So save level position. Positions. And this will return that character array. No, I think we're going to keep map setup the same. We're not actually going to change map setup. So we're not really doing anything with what it returns right now. So anyways, yeah. Okay, so save level positions. And we're going to need an X and a Y counter. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 4, so 2 for loops. Oops. So x of y equals 0. Y is less than the size of our map, basically, which I'm going to say is 25 right now. And y plus plus. This will probably all get modified, but x equals 0. And go through the x coordinates as well. X is less than 100. X plus plus. Okay, so here we're going to declare that char array. So I'll call it level, or well, let's call it positions, even though they're not positions, but Good enough. We're going to malloc it. So positions equals malloc size of char star times 25. So it's the same as here. And then in here, we're going to malloc. So we have an array basically. Yeah, it's a 2D array. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so then positions at the y index, we have to malloc that as well. So equals malloc size of char times 100. Okay, so now in here, what we're going to do is we're going to go positions y x is equal to, we're going to call the ncurses function move inch, and this will return pass it y, pass it x. Okay, so what this will do is in our map, it's going to go through each one of these positions. So that position, that position, that position, this position, that position, all the positions. It's going to get what character it's at, and it's going to save it in this master array. And so that's what we're going to return. Positions. Okay. So that's our new character array. So save that. So we want level equals that function, save level positions. So we'll call that function there. We're going to have to add that to our .h file. So that's a room function. Sorry, level map function. Okay, now this is where things are going to get a little complicated, and we're going to do some stuff with our players as well. So here we have this new y, new x. We're going to switch that to position, new position. Actually, we'll just call it new. No, we can't do that. That's a reserved keyword. Darn it. So just call it new position. Make it a pointer. So new position equals malloc size of position. Okay, so now new position y. So we'll just replace anywhere that there's those new x, new y. Okay, so now in check position, instead of taking two ints, it's just going to take that position. So we're going to have to update that here. New position, and that's a pointer. And so that has to be updated in our .h file. So here, this is going to take check position, it's going to return position star new position, and the same thing for player move. So we're just kind of making use of that position data structure that we have, and I'll show you why we're doing this. It'll make sense. Okay, so yeah, same thing in player move. Okay, so let's see how this is going. We're at handle input, and that does everything. So handle input is now actually going to return this position instead of calling check position. Okay, so we're not calling check position from handle input anymore. So return new position. Okay, now so we're going to save that position. So position, I don't know, new position. So new position is what handle input returns. It needs to be a pointer. Okay, so we have to update this to return a position pointer, and in the .h as well. A lot of changes in this one, but it'll be good for the good. So what was that? Handle input returns position star. Okay, we're almost there. Then we're going to send that position to check position from our main function. So we're going to call check position with the user, but we're also going to pass it that char array that we created. And we're going to do that same thing in the player move. We're going to pass that there as well. So update your .h file accordingly. Okay, now this is where we get the problem solved. So we're going to call check position with this. So we're going to pass it new position, the user, and level. Okay, so that's check position, and it's getting past those things, so that needs to get updated in our, not just our .h, but also our .c. And then this has to get added to our player move as well. Okay, so what happens is when we call player move, well, first let's put new position there because it only takes one now, and then it also takes level. Okay, so now remember, level is an array of characters. So what we're going to do is, instead of always printing this dot, which is why we're having that problem, we're going to print the character that's at level user position y user position x. Okay, so that will call the character that's been stored underneath this, or like what it should be on the map. So that will just yeah, it'll make sense. Okay, so this is what we need to use. Now we can't just, this is a character, and this needs to be a character array. See, the single quotes means it's a single character, double quotes means a double character. So this is expecting a string of characters. So what we can do is we can do sprintf, and okay, we're going to have to declare a new char buffer, call it 8. We'll never use that, but then buffer, I believe, goes first. Kind of doing this off of memory. And then what format it's going to be. So it's going to be a character. And then what's being converted. So what's happening is here is this is converting whatever this character is to buffer, which will allow us to call this move print w, which has to be a string of characters. Kind of confusing, but basically we're just converting This just converts a single character to a string of characters. That's what that's doing. Okay, there's gonna be lots of errors here. I just know it. But let's give it a go. Make. Error, error, error. Okay, so let's knock them off one by one. Player.c 12. Okay, so here, yeah, what we're gonna do here is we're going to not call player move. So that was just to get the character, the player printing. So instead, we're just gonna call move print w. Excuse the construction in the background, and we're going to go to new player position y, new player position x, and we're going to print the @ symbol, and then we're just going to do move uPlayer.y, uPlayer.x. So that will do the same thing. Just since we haven't yet kind of set up our level, it would just be too confusing. But yeah, that should get rid of that error. Okay, make it again. Ooh, less errors. So in function, check position 65. Okay, so we're switching on this guy, but that doesn't exist. These new Y's don't exist anymore. So that's simple to fix. New position, not dot. It's not a, it's a pointer, remember, so. And X. Okay, so player.c 90. So here's another one. So this just needs to be new position Y, new position X. Segfault. Oh, whoopee. Okay, so this sometimes happens when you code. Let's just close that. So we're getting some kind of allocation error. So 0, y is less than 25. X, oh, what's going on here? X is less than 100. I don't know what that is. It can't be anything good. So we'll just get rid of that. Probably didn't solve anything, but worth trying. Nope. So make sure to delete this, because when we hit make, it's not actually going to recompile it because that's still there, so it's segfaulting. So that's what the problem was before. So delete this, and then it will remake it. So now we're segfaulting without it even loading. Okay, so there is something in save level position that's segfaulting, I believe. Is that right? Well, this is still there. Okay, so get rid of that and delete this. Then make it. And we're still segfaulting. Okay. So it's something when we're moving, right? We try and move and something segfaults. Well, this is interesting. We call check position, but we never call player move. So player move should be called, oh no, we do it right here. So I'm wondering, new position, user level. Let's test if we're actually saving anything. So right here, we'll do a move print W. And we're just going to go to 0, 0. And then we're going to try and print out just a character. So let's say the char at 1313 is %C. And that should work. But we're segfaulting, so we got to keep remembering to delete this, which I'm not so good at. So it is saving it, but then when we try to print it, we get a fault. Okay, so I think it's just when we something to do with here. So I feel like this is not where this is supposed to be. So put that back to buffer. Paste it there. Go roll back to the original. File, open tab. Delete this. And make it. Hey! Look at that. Okay, so it did work. Okay, so I apologize that the last half of this tutorial has just been a little messy. I was honestly very confused, but so the issue was, okay, this is what player move needs to look like, and I think just really the main issue was that for loop that we had, which was right. We had an extra X. I think that was the main issue, and then I got a little confused there, but it seems to be working now. So. Yeah, that was what we were trying to do. Awesome. Okay, again, sorry that tutorial took a little longer, but that's sometimes just what happens. You know, I think we're pretty much ready to start getting some monsters in. So that should be pretty sweet. All right, that's it.